Shame. 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 Shame.
What's going on, you guys? TBR here, back yet again with another King of Fighters All-Star video, and happy Friday to all of you. I hope you all are excited for the weekend. I know I am, because man, I'm ready for a day off. But before we go ahead and get into today's main topic, I did want to go ahead and take this introduction as an opportunity to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of information on something that was posted over on the official forums, because guess what? We now have our first look at EX Kyo. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get into today's topic. But first up here, as you guys can see, and I will have a link in the description, we do have the Guess the KOF 15 Kyo Kusanagi New Skill Quiz event. Man, that's a lot to say. But as you guys can see here, this is going to be open for you to vote today until the 27th. So make sure that you guys get your votes in over on the official forums. Again, link will be in the description. Now, we do have a couple of still images here. We've already talked about, if you guys didn't see the video that we did the other day going over the data mines, we did already talk about the data mines for this EX Kyo. It is modeled after the KOF 15 Kyo and does feature a new 3PG card finisher, which is of course going to be his finisher, his climax finisher from KOF 15. So that is what they are picturing in these photos. As you guys can see, if you've played KOF 15, pretty obvious what you're looking at. Now, here down here, you're going to see all the different options that you can vote for. So you're going to have 4 different options to choose from. If you guys are wondering what the answer is, well, that's the answer. Now, as you guys can see, the reason why this is important, and we're going to be taking a look at one other thing here momentarily, but if you guys are wondering why this is important enough for me to be talking about it, if you notice down here, you are going to have the opportunity for all participants to get 5, not a full multi because that would be too nice, but 5 summons on the EX Fighter summon for this banner. So whenever this banner drops, you will have 5 of these tickets, not a full multi because that would be too nice, 5 of these tickets to pull on this banner. And then they are going to be drawing 30 people at random, it looks like, with the correct answer for the EX battle card ticket volume or ×5. So not anything crazy. It would be really nice if they would just go ahead and go the full distance and give us a full multi on these, but beggars can't be choosers, right? So that is what we've got there, you guys. Pretty cool stuff. Make sure that you submit your vote. Like I said, this is going to be the answer right here. So I'm going to go ahead and submit mine. Boom, there you go. Now, the next thing I want to go ahead and show you guys, though, is because they didn't put this on our side of the forum, but if we take a look here, we can actually see the full finisher in action. So as you guys can see, this does confirm 100% that this is the KOF 15 Climax finisher for Kyo. And as you guys can see, it does appear as though they have added a few little things in here. It looks like we have quite a few different camera angles in this by comparison to what they put in KOF 15. So in my opinion, this is really, really cool. As always, Netmarble's design team knocks it out of the park with this stuff, with their animations, with their overall just work on these characters. It always looks really, really good. So I'm very, very happy with what they've done here. So overall, you guys, that is pretty much what we are seeing when it comes to EX Kyo over on the forums. Again, we only have to wait about, what is it? Today's the 22nd, another 6 days or so. So we don't have very much longer to wait. I'm sure we're going to be getting some sort of formal trailer for this character probably very soon. With all that being said, you guys, I just wanted to make sure that you guys saw this. So again, make sure you go over to the official forum. Link will be in the description. Make sure you guys vote if you want a chance at these tickets, because those things are going to be pretty darn valuable, because I know a lot of people out there are going to be dead broke after the Street Fighter V collaboration. So, you know, you take what you can get. So anyway, you guys, we're going to go ahead and get into this video, but you guys know the drill. Before we go ahead and get into it, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe, and you already know what time it is. Cue that intro. Alright you guys, so in today's video I want to go ahead and have a little bit of fun because, well, it's Friday, I'm tired, and I just want to enjoy myself today. So we're going to have a little bit of fun with Akuma in today's video. I have had a ton of people asking me certain questions about this character in the comments section over on my community tab and so on and so forth. So I want to go ahead and just kind of address a couple of things. But I also want to take today as an opportunity to not only take a look at my Akuma now that he's Awakening level 7, or Awakening level 66 if you prefer, but I also want to take an opportunity today to talk about a topic that I feel like a lot of beginners don't realize yet and might have been a little bit backward on their thinking with. And I know this is going to be something that most players that are veterans or even intermediates already are well aware of, and it's not going to be new information for those guys. But I do want to go ahead and make sure I slip this part in today because it also ties into something else which we're going to be talking about, which is of course what everybody else has been asking me, which is how do I get my Akuma's CP up to what you're about to see. So we'll talk about it. We'll have a few things we need to go through today, and then I'll go ahead and get into a little bit of footage after I get done rambling and you guys can enjoy that. So first up here, as you guys can see, I do now have my Akuma at Awakening level 7, so pretty cool stuff. We're going to walk through the build, and then we'll talk about a second build, which is going to be the Uber CP build, and then we'll go ahead and we'll get into the footage. So, as far as the build on my Akuma, first up, let's talk about the cores. Now, when it comes to the EX core board, as you guys can see, if you guys didn't see my spotlight video, I go through that in depth on my thinking on how I did this. So if you guys want to know any of the more kind of nitty gritty details on Akuma, you want to check out that spotlight video. Link will be in the description. But as you guys can see, this is going to be what I decided on. I did go ahead, and these are all going to be the same as they've always been. I still have concentrate on there because in my opinion it is still going to be, even though you're rarely going to use either, the better of the two of these. And then I also have my attack, my penetration maxed out, and then I went ahead and dumped all the other stats into HP because in my opinion defense is kind of a meme. So that's what I did there. Now, one thing I will mention is at this Awakening tier, as well as because of these cores, basically Akuma's overall survivability in things such as Inferno difficulty against Nightmare Geese specifically is much improved. You guys are going to see a run in today's video on that just to see the difference, because whereas before I had to basically struggle to keep him alive at certain points and certain runs against Inferno difficulty, unless I just got a really good RNG run, now, because of this stuff, he really doesn't have much of any issue, and the damage numbers have skyrocketed, which you're going to see. So, that's what I decided to do there. Not anything too crazy. Again, if you guys want my full in-depth thoughts on this stuff, I did a full spotlight video on this character that you can check out. So, other things here, let's talk about cards. So when it comes to cards, this is what I've got going on. This is the build that you're going to see in any of the footage today because this is the build that I prefer. Again, if you guys want to know my thinking on all this stuff, link will be in the description to the spotlight, but I am still using the Peaceful Days set. If you guys want to know my transcendental effects on these, 2 out of the 3 of these have beneficial effects for my Akuma. As you guys can see, my type 1 is going to have an increase to his crit rate. Now if we go over here, the type 2 is going to increase his penetration, and then the one that doesn't have a beneficial effect is going to be the type 3. So that's pretty much what we got going on there. When it comes to my option cards, as always, if I can use it, I use the Gintama option. If you don't have the Gintama option, there's plenty of options available out there. I just like that 1.9% cooldown, or 1.9 seconds rather, cooldown that we get for that. So that's why I've got that there, on top of the obvious. And then the final one here is going to be the Akuma exclusive option card. And this one here is going to have an increase to my attack type fighter's burn damage. So pretty good. Now that is going to be that. Now there is one big thing here that I need to mention, because I haven't mentioned this yet. So the other day I did decide to go ahead and get a second finisher for my Akuma. It was actually the last day I decided to do that, but I ended up getting it within the first couple of multis, so I didn't even bother doing a video on it. Otherwise it would have been like a 3-minute video. So I did go ahead and pick this up on the final day, and as you guys can see, I've fully transcended it, and it does have a beneficial transcendental effect that I was very happy to see. Increases attack type fighters critical damage. So very cool stuff overall. Now I do still have this one here. This one here is not fully maxed out. If you guys are wondering why, and yeah, make fun of me all you want, but hey, I'm broke, okay? the Street Fighter V collaboration broke me in more ways than one. So I am somehow completely out of these. Send help. Yeah, that's just is what it is. It was a very expensive collaboration. I'll be living in a cardboard box at this point when it comes to some of these resources for a while. So that's pretty much what we got there. As far as my other stones are concerned, I do have a full set of double attack burn R stones. These are the ones that I would highly recommend for your Akuma. These guys here are going to give you the most damage, just damage for days. So then we also have, if you guys didn't see my previous videos, I still do have this HP and attack R stone for burn for my star stone here. Overall, I wish it were double attack, but I don't have a double attack one, so get off me. But speaking of double attack, I do have a double attack stone for my moonstone, so hey, you win some, you lose some, right? So that is going to be the stones there. That's going to be the build, and that is going to be the build you guys are going to see in the footage. Now, a lot of people have been asking me, TBR, I saw your community tab post. How the hell are you getting your Akuma to like 300k CP, right? So we're gonna go ahead and show you guys how I do that. Now, this is where, though, I want to go ahead and use this as an opportunity to give new players a bit of a, not lesson, but I want to make sure that they know something. So a lot of times I feel like people see giant CP numbers, right? And they think to themselves, well, wow, that character has to just be like the hardest hitting thing in the game. Like, it probably one-shots guild raid bosses. Like, my God. No. One thing that people need to realize is that while CP is extremely important for a lot of things in this game, where it is going to gate you from being able to complete things or penalize you for being able to not have a certain threshold of CP, those things, CP is extremely important. However, when it comes to just general overall gameplay, right? When it comes to just overall damage numbers, CP does not equal damage, right? Not always. So for instance, as you guys just saw, I went ahead and I put this build on. This is the build that I used to get my Akuma to that ridiculously high CP level that you guys see. So there you go. I did go ahead and swap on this guy because it's a crit damage stone, because, you know, crit anything is going to give you a ton of CP. So in general, this is kind of that build there that you guys were seeing. If you were curious, there it is. So one thing though that people need to realize, and again, I know veterans and intermediates even understand this, but new players need to understand this. This number right here, even though it jumped up like, what, 108,000 CP or something, I would be doing nowhere near the amount of damage with this build versus the previous build that you just saw that was 193k, right? So that is something that's very important. The reason for that, and there's many, but really this game, because of the way that CP formulas work in this game, crit rate and then crit damage, those are going to be the things that give you just a ton of CP in general. And because of these two option cards here, giving those things, they give you a ton of that, right? A ton of CP. The problem is these two option cards without cooldown reduction aren't that great, and they don't offer a ton of synergy with this character. And this is just, you know, you can say this about any character, really. Good lord. But really, at the end of the day, CP does not automatically equal big numbers. So you guys need to understand that. Again, if I were to take this build in to Guild Raid, you guys are going to see a Guild Raid Inferno run today, and I'm doing like almost 6 billion damage or whatever. If I were to use this build, I would probably have a hard time breaking 4, right? So it's one of those things where I feel like that's just one little thing I needed to throw out there, because there is a lot of new players out there that have just gotten into the game for Street Fighter V in the past month, and they may or may not know that. I know a lot of people have been posting on like the Reddit, in my comments section and so on, and they make it seem like this is kind of like the be-all end-all, like having high CP is going to all of a sudden just cause your damage to skyrocket, and that's not automatically the case. Synergy is key, always. So that being said, things such as losing cooldown reduction in lieu of things like crit and crit damage, crit rate, whatever, and then not having a set that is fully synergistic with your character. For instance, the set that I would normally be using here is going to benefit my burn explosion, right? Well, guess what? Losing that, you're losing a ton of damage. And in general, while this stuff is nice as like just kind of trophy stuff for screenshots, or, you know, certain things like Chapter of Fight, or even Absolute War and so on and so forth, in general, it's not necessarily going to be as beneficial outside of modes where you need high CP. So I wanted to go ahead and let you guys know that. I just know that there's a lot of players out there that don't necessarily realize that. There were also a lot of people wanting to know how I built my Akuma to get him to such a high CP threshold. So now you guys see that. It will require Tekken. Most people don't have Tekken. I get it. I'm sorry. But you guys wanted to know, and I'm not going to lie to you. So there you go. So with that being said, let's take a look at my fame. My purple fame to be exact, and that is going to be that. And then we can go ahead and get into the footage. So anyway, you guys, I just wanted to go ahead and make this video today because there were several different things I wanted to talk about. Hopefully you guys found it informative. Again, I know a lot of the veterans and the intermediates out there, they already know that about CP. They know that CP is only really necessary for specific things. Outside of that, you want to always go for synergy on your builds. But at the end of the day, I figured that it would be benefiting somebody out there. So anyway, you guys, that is today's video. I hope you enjoy the footage. If you do, smash that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's Saturday Chat and Chill. You all take care. Peace.
Wow. opinion.